If you want to stay up to date with all current hip hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become part of this community. So last Friday, as kind of like a surprise drop, we got an anniversary edition of Juice WRLD's kind of breakout record, Goodbye and Good Riddance. And this is something that I wasn't expecting. I don't think anyone really teased this before it dropped. Lil Bibby didn't on social media or anywhere, so I was kind of surprised when I saw this. But the thing is, it actually only features 2 new tracks on here, one being a remix of Lucid Dreams featuring Uzi, which I'm going to get into a little bit later on. We have another one, 734, that is kind of like a really new track, the only really fresh, complete new track that we got on here, which I want to talk about a bit in a second too. But first off, the whole kind of, occasion for this thing dropping was the 3-year anniversary of Goodbye, Good Riddance, which, as I said, was undoubtedly kind of Juice WRLD's introduction to the mainstream. We had stuff on here like, if I just go through the track list, All Girls Are the Same, big hit, Lean With Me, Wasted. Then we had Black and White, and of course Lucid Dreams. So all of these are like really big songs in his discography, and this record really introduced him to a lot of people. I still remember when Lucid Dreams dropped back in, the summer, or, now May, as we know is the anniversary of, because this thing dropped, of 2018, and it just went huge. So this record was really, it was something special, something big for him. And now we got this anniversary edition 3 years after the fact. And as I said, 2 new tracks, 734 and Lucid Dreams featuring Lil Uzi Vert remix. And first of all, y'all know that I'm not really a fan of kind of like an estate or a label trying to just milk an artist's legacy and discography after they've passed away. Rest in peace to Juice WRLD. I'm very critical about posthumous albums. In this case, it's just an anniversary edition. I know a lot of artists have done this over the years, not just in hip-hop, but just in the music industry, in general. Anniversary editions are, or like 25-year anniversary editions are something that we see a lot. It's nothing new, but I just don't think that the 3-year mark of this record is something that justifies this thing. So from the start, I was very critical going into this. And when I say going into this, not like it's a whole album, it's 2 new tracks, but I'm very kind of questioning these things and the motives behind these, because Legends Never Die, Juice WRLD's first posthumous album, was actually really good, but that was because Juice was working on it up until his death. But there's talks about a new album coming out this summer, in July again, like Legends Never Die did last year. I know a lot of you guys are excited, and don't get me wrong, I'm excited about new Juice material as well. We know that he was someone who was constantly in the studio working, making new songs. There are talks of him having over 1,000 songs just laying around. Anyone can just, take those and make an album. But the question is if he really wanted those to be, put out into the world, and if that's really the legacy that he imagined. But let's talk about these 2 new tracks that we got, because I think that's like really kind of the core aspect of what we got going on new here. So 734 is actually, I like that track. It's a very classic singing over a very Juice type beat. The instrument kind of sounds like that from Wishing Well, that main chord progression, and the chord, like the actual chords and the chord progression itself, sound very similar to Stay High, both off of Legends Never Die. So maybe they took some inspiration from that, or maybe that's where the inspiration came from. I don't know, but it just reminded me a lot of that. But I like those tracks. I love those tracks. So that's why 734 is a track that I'll definitely have on repeat for a little bit. It's a very, classic Juice, substance matter, so nothing too crazy you can expect here. It's about dealing with pain that a girl brought him, about him being in the studio, kind of dabbling a bit into his addiction and all that. So nothing that we haven't heard before, but it's just nice to maybe hear this track. I don't recall the exact leaks going around, but I feel like I've heard this before, so maybe there were leaks for this. I'm not too sure, but you might have heard this before, so don't be surprised if you kind of recognize a leak in this. But 734 is finally on streaming platforms now. Y'all can go listen to it. I like the track. His voice is mixed a little bit thin. You can maybe see that this, recording wasn't maybe done in the most professional way. Maybe he was just on his tour bus recording this, but anyway, they made a song out of it. I don't, hate it too much. I actually like it, so it's all good. The second track that we got is a Lucid Dreams remix with Uzi. Now, when I saw this, I was very skeptical because Lucid Dreams is, of course, Juice's biggest song, and a feature from Uzi is, I can just imagine someone being like, yo, let's take his biggest song, let's get a feature from someone that's kind of like in the same lane and, a really big artist, so they picked Uzi, and let's just throw them together and hope that people like it. But I don't know. I like Uzi's part on here, and I think Uzi did a verse to a remix for Lucid Dreams before, like back in the day after it dropped. This is not the verse though. This is a new verse from Uzi, which is exciting. So that's kind of cool. I like his verse. His cadences, his energy on the track is undeniable. I love the kind of the projection and energy he brings to the track, as I said. So there's nothing wrong with that. It just seems kind of milking every last bit of streams out of Juice's legacy, which I'm really not a fan of. And this thing is also not doing well at all. 734 after now 2 days is sitting at 1.3 million plays, and that Lucid Dreams remix only at about 800,000 on Spotify. So we can see that people are not even like messing with it that much, because as I said, it just seems kind of random. It just seems kind of they're trying to capitalize off of the last little bit of things that Juice gave him. So that's why I don't like this. As I said, I think this whole Goodbye Good Riddance anniversary edition is kind of a whole kind of just blowing something up too much, trying to make something a thing that is really not. I don't think a 3-year mark is really, occasion for an anniversary edition. And besides, if anything, they should have dropped it last year as a 2-year anniversary edition, because that was about, half a year after Juice passed away, rest in peace. But if they only put 2 new songs on here, and they're not really new songs, one is just a remix and the other one is just a track that they got from him, then they could have easily done it last year. So it's not like they didn't have the opportunity to do so. So I'm kind of still skeptical about this, but I'm excited for the 734 track. So I'll keep on listening to that. I don't really like that Uzi feature, or I like it, but it just seems weird to have that remix. I don't think people are going to listen to it that much. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on this. Not too much of a fan of that anniversary edition of Goodbye Good Riddance, although this, the music itself is of course amazing. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on this. Now I want to know what you think about this. Do you think this is just kind of another attempt to capitalize off of Juice's legacy? Do you like the track 734 or that Lucid Dreams remix? Did you like Uzi's verse on there? I actually did. And yeah, just let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.